Mm. But people don't assume that they're going to get sick. So getting sick is a surprise.
But is it?
I mean, it appears to be for most people. We all kind of live in, if you think about how we live and the decisions we make in the short term, it's evident that we don't believe we're going to either die or get sick.
Which is a huge failure of our culture. When I think about longevity and I think about aging and I think about the individuals that fall and break their hip and end up in a hospital bed because they haven't trained or haven't taken care of this body, which we only get one, there is a predictable endpoint. It is happening. And we spend all this time trying to increase this concept of anti-aging. We are aging. Aging is not a disease. How we do it is largely up to us. And if we can condense this future version of ourselves to now and understand not just the physical attributes, but also the mental attributes that will require us to move forward, then people would begin to take action.
Can you tell when you meet someone if they're going to make the changes that you describe and that you suggest very quickly?
Yes.
And what are the hallmarks of someone?
They're like archetypes.
Okay.
There is the CEO archetype, which I'm telling you, they are going to put it off for good 3 to 6 months. And eventually they will get it done. And once they get it done, they will stay on top of it. They will get it done because they recognize that their physicality is the common denominator because they are in it to be the best version of themselves. Mm-hmm. And then there are other people that have gone to 13 other physicians and have lost hope in the system. Mm-hmm. And those individuals, or maybe they had a physician that said something to them and it really scarred them. Those individuals will be very resistant to execution. But once you earn their trust, they'll get the job done. Mm-hmm. And then there are individuals that really struggle with worthiness, that part of them wants to evolve. Maybe they had an old trauma. Maybe they had a physical trauma or something that really, really shook them.
And the trauma can be like a little T trauma or a big T trauma.
Yeah.
It could be a small thing. Their dad left.
Yeah.
Or it could be something bigger, more horrific.
Absolutely. And one of the things that we see is there is this interpretation of stress. And people think stress is all fight or flight. And we should try to de-stress and take a hot bubble bath. But we actually evolved to manage and mitigate stress as humans. We're much stronger than we recognize, and there are additional stress responses that we don't talk about. And we know from work out of Stanford and other individuals' labs that what you believe about an experience is how your physiology will show up about that experience. So for example, there was a hotel caretaker study, so you could call it a maid study, where they looked at 2 groups of housekeepers. One group, they said, what you're doing is amazing. You are definitely getting physical activity. Here's all the positives. And the other group, they just went about their day and, maybe they were told that they should do physical activity or not. But at the end of the housekeeper study, those individuals that were told that what they were doing was in part like physical activity showed low, and that they didn't need to do any more, but what they were doing was amazing. Those individuals had lower blood pressure. They had better